a full-time job. Most people are, most are looking somehow to have 40 hours. If they can't have 40 hours in one community, then they want to combine it with several communities. And I was hoping to be able to find someone who had some hours available who was working in another community. Tried that.
Not a big pool.
Not a big pool. So my guess is that that's the way we're going to find a building inspector. He's going to have some hours in another community, and we're going to share. And that, I think that's the best we can do. The second reason, and I thought I had a very good candidate who said no ultimately. He liked the benefit package. He liked the town. When I told him the hourly scale, the hourly rate, we are versus where he was, and I checked this out because I called the town administrator. I couldn't believe it. We were $12 an hour under his rate in this other community. So there's two factors that inhibit us from the recruiting. One is we are well under the market in terms of the hourly rate. And number two, it's hard to find the combination that you want with someone who has hours available, and obviously the town is not in a position to go to 40. So, and this is a key position in the organization. It's something we've heard tonight. We're doing without, and it's causing a degree of havoc, so.
Yes, ma'am.
With Julie's motion, are you going to be putting it to 20 hours or to 30 hours? Because it was cut to-
It was to.
That was my
Oh, yeah, and
motion.
so in our current
30.
budget, it's at 20 for fiscal years. This would be
Moving it
adding
to
an
30.
additional 10, so it'd be 30 hours. Any other discussion? If not, Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane Haley?
Yes.
And I will vote yes.
It's a hyphen to get you.
It is. So now, so we're down to what, 26?
Some of the Diane.
Yeah, no, sorry, what is it?
Yeah.
24, 9,
I
26.
got 23.
I had, hold on,
Yeah,
I have 23, 9, 26.
yeah.
Is that what
It
you
was-
have, Julie?
Yeah, it was 36,
Oh, it's 36.
361.
37.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
We're
no.
1,000 off, so that's it then. All right,
Okay, so we're at 20, 23, 9, 26.
all right. I would like to make a motion to restore $10,000 to the Recreation Commission.
Is there anyone here that want, oh, sorry, is there a second first, and then we'll discuss?
No, I don't want to make a second, but I want to ask Julie a question. I agree that, I've talked about this before, and I know I discussed this with you about bringing some of the rec department back, and my largest concern is that our younger generation did not get swimming lessons, and that's huge. So if we could, if we can't fund the whole thing, because I see some of the other things on here about it, what happens if we don't restore the tree warden? What happens if we don't do the beaver control? I mean, those are gonna have some other lasting effects. So I don't know how much even just the swim program is, I think was a little over 5, I think is what I had heard. I've spoken to them before, but,
Well, I know they had donations, plus they had the donation
well,
from the light
part of that
company.
was to run rec soccer, not for, I mean, they have so many kids that play, and they could
Right.
only raise the fees so much. So, I mean, to do the 10, like, what impact would that have on the rest of the budget is really,
All right, so you want to wait on that one?
well, yeah, but I would
okay.
like to fund some of it, because again, I'm concerned that our younger kids are not having the swim lessons, and that's a safety issue.
Is there anyone from, yes, sir?
One of the things, when you go back, you should get a cost. The swim lessons, Templeton Fishing Gun donates to beach, but now we have a new law which requires this whole life jacket requirement and certification and training, which they never had to do that in past.
Yeah.
So, the law's on the books, the regs have been promulgated, they just haven't, they might not even make it through this beach season because of the change in the state government, but the law's on the books. So I support the spring program, but you want to make sure that you fund it so they can actually do the
Right,
swim
that's-
program.
I wouldn't know who to ask that dollar amount
But
to right now.
they're aware of the requirement
Yep,
And then I think there's companies out there that, you know, you can rent, will show up with a shipping container, because they have to maintain the life jackets, and it's a question of, you have to be a certified swim tester and a certified life jacket person.
Yes, Bob.
I just want to say that I think it's reasonable to spend all of the money that we have available, because built into this budget is something on the order of $100,000
Health insurance.
that will be available to transfer in case we have problems in the coming year.
Okay.
You've got $30,000 in the town administrator's account that is not going to be spent. I anticipate that we're going to have significant savings on health insurance, and the number that's in there is the number for an 8.9% increase. And thirdly, I think we're going to save money on general insurance, and that's going to add up in the range of 100, so that we're not spending every penny that we have, and I think it's prudent to have these monies where they are, so that if we get into trouble somewhere, we're going to have the ability to do some transfers. So if you were to consume all of this, it would not, it would not expose us completely to a situation where one little error could derail the town finances.
Yes.
I'm sure you thought of this, but the 85,000 for the playground is already covered.
That's in the 15 budget. This is 16.
Can't
Oh,
even-
that's right.
So in the 15 budget, that's another good point. We're still going through a process of figuring out the financial transfers. Kelly has done some work on that, sent me a chart, a spreadsheet today that I didn't have time to look at, but we should be wrapping up the transfers, both the accounts where we have some funds and the accounts where we have a need.
I have 13,000.
Hey, Julie,
Good? Did you get that?
what about
Yeah.
increasing
Yeah.
the scholarship?
We think we're gonna have enough
Yes.
for the playground, so.
Right
I think we're
now,
going to have
if I
enough for the
subtract
playground. We obviously
everything,
have to have enough for
it's not on
veterans'
there.
benefits.
If I subtract
We
out
obviously have to have
the
additional
salaries,
funds for the
11,980.
accountant, given the things that have
And if we do
happened.
like
So
9,000,
those are the three areas where I
and
think
then
we're going to
increase
have
the scholarship
significant
another
need.
2,500.
And
That's for them every
my
year. We have kids
sense
who
is
need
that
it.
we're
Do you
going to be
agree with
okay
that or
there.
not agree with that? Or do you think, or should we just talk, can we just talk about that? Even if it's 1,500? Okay, sorry, I had some thoughts.
That's, so we have a first and we have a second, and it was for 10,000, correct? Or do we just have a first?
Oh, I didn't even have
Oh,
a
no, so
second.
we just
I
have a
asked if we
first.
could like look at the rest of them first before.
Yeah.
So then we'll,
I wanted to look through. So if you,
well, so there's no second?
no,
How about if we look at the town hall maintenance position to be combined with the custodian at COA? Because I believe that wouldn't be a
Oh, that might bring it lower then,
5,839.
yeah.
That would be what, 3,000 something? What was that, Diana?
For what, 5 hours?
I have in here a number for 10 hours. Why don't we try 5?
that's what.
It would
yeah,
just
I
be
thought
some
five
help.
All right.
Was good.
Okay.
It would be a help.
All right.
Okay.
Now you have,
Five.
each office is doing their own maintenance, sweeping their own floors and emptying their own trash and so forth.
Right, so-
That kind of light maintenance could be done. That'd be a big help in the building, and I think since money is tight, 5 hours would probably be
All right, so
acceptable.
Is that 5,000 or 5,000?
That's 58.39 for 10 hours.
So it's half.
So you want to,
That hourly rate was enough, though. Diana, do you know the hourly rate for him?
Oh, for Tom? He is,
that's how I figured it out.
Yeah, I think it's probably right.
I use the hourly rate that, yes.
Here's your hourly rate.
11:30 or
No,
something like
he
that.
used it, so
Oh.
you
Oh,
cut it
so
in half.
then you'll be
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
So what's half, 20?
2,900, 20, sorry.
yeah, 29.19.
Okay, so
Do
I
I-
just lost all my numbers.
Was that a motion, Julie?
Yes.
So we have a motion to increase, or for purposes of town hall maintenance, to increase the current COA custodian, correct, 2919
By 5 hours.
by 5 hours.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, first, second, any further discussion? Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
What's our number?
21007.
21007.
Thank you.
No, with, I want to advocate for pest control, because it's mostly,
Okay, well, I'm gonna advocate for that too.
it's mostly mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, communities have had some serious issues with
Right.
mosquitoes and serious illnesses.
Yeah.
And I guess the town was fortunate last year it didn't happen, but I think it'd be very wise to take $1,000 and get back into that.
We could train the beavers to eat mosquitoes. We could.
That
skip
We could
to-
tolerate beavers, we can't tolerate triple E.
Yeah, yes.
Is this for stormwater, the storm drain treatment? Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody that's certified anymore.
You
At
have
one
to-
point in time, the highway
We
department,
don't?
you remember this one out, got certified.
We can't even
but
do
there's nobody that's certified any longer. So, and to be honest with you, I mean, I can't see where it helped out in the town of Templeton because of all the swamp that we have around us. Putting the pellets inside a catch basin, there's a procedure you gotta go through. You gotta do a dry testing, a wet testing, and it never happened. It was funded, the crew went out, and they had 4 or 5 people that got certified. And it was planned at that time that it was gonna be all done on overtime, because we didn't have the time during regular time, because of all the testing that had to be done. It was a program that really never worked, speaking honestly.
Okay.
Yes.
Let the mosquitoes fly.
It's actually more important that if Bud gets to clean out the catch basins
Every year.
every year, that has a real effect. Triple E mosquito, it's red maple swamps, and it's hard to treat red maple swamps in an effective way. There's no way we would have the money, because those mosquitoes tend to get protected underneath the tree clumps. The storm drain one is for the West Nile virus, but if you have an active catch basin program, that actually is more effective, and it's gonna help your MS4 when you, for storm drain, for the EPA, that you are doing that. Towns that don't do that, then that creates problems, siltation into the water, so Bud's pretty good on that, so if,
So ixnay on the pest day?
So we're saying that basically 1,000 wouldn't be a sufficient amount anyway,
Okay,
right? Sorry.
Just, you know, all right,
Just-
How about I make a motion for beaver control?
I will second that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we have a first and second for beaver control.
Beaver control?
That'll take
Hey,
$1,000
Bud, you know how to take care of
I'll
that.
take the
don't
raise, yes.
you? The beaver problems, you know how to take care of that.
I declined to answer.
That's, okay.
So we have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane? And I will vote yes.
And this was for the
Beaver.
beaver.
So we're at $20,007, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we still have the tree warden,
And conservation.
it's conservation, cemetery.
No,
Who's the tree
well,
warden now,
cemeteries.
Ken?
We don't have one.
We don't have.
By law, you're supposed to have a tree warden.
Well,
That's general law.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
We don't have one.
we haven't had one for years.
It's the law. Who says we do all that? But come on now, we didn't have a board of health for how many months? Or a police department that was working, come on now.
You know,
Yep.
Do we need a tree warden, and do we need, is it gonna be the same person that we paid $5,000 a year to go and look and say, yep, it's a tree, go ahead and take it down? I mean, no, is this something he can do? What's that?
Pete Tito used to do it.
But what exactly did he do for $5,000?
He
My
would
question.
arrange the contractors to go out and take the trees down. It wasn't Bud always.
So we have to pay somebody $5,000 a year to tell him to go take a tree down? How does he know about the tree? Does he survey the town, or does he wait to get a call from the light or the highway department or the police department, say we have a dangerous tree? This seems a lot of money to pay somebody to go to make a phone call.
Right.
I don't think he gets much of it.
Yep.
I say ask the highway superintendent, because he deals hand in hand with the tree warden. Do we
Yeah.
really need one?
By law, every town, every
Has to
community
have one.
a tree warden.
Do we have to pay him $5,000 to make a phone
Statute
call?
law, the it didn't get funded, so
Yeah.
Quit.
That's just,
well, Pete basically retired.
so does he need all
He's
that?
retired.
Oh, if we could just here, Bud's just gonna fill us in here.
What Pete and I did in the years past, we worked very well together. The highway department, we're lucky enough to have a bucket truck donated from the light department over the years, and what trees we could take down safely, we took down. The ones that were too tall for our equipment, he would hire a crane or a larger tree bucket truck to come in and take care of it. So some work was contracted out, some work we did in-house.
Gotcha.
Over this last budget crunch, we've taken down some dead and dangerous trees that we could handle. Fortunately, we didn't have to hire somebody because there was actually no funding in the tree expense account to do so. But we took care of whatever in-house that we needed to take care of. There's more out there to be taken care of. Hopefully, something will get funded because there's no line item in my budget for tree
Trees,
removal.
gotcha.
We take care of it, we put out the fires, put it
Gotcha.
that way. We've done a few over the course of this winter.
Do we need that whole dollar amount?
So you really need and as far as the tree
This pays the contract.
warden's responsibilities, there are times where he goes out on weekends. If he gets a call, there's a dead or dangerous tree hanging over the road, he's the one that goes out and determines whether or not it needs to come down right away. If it falls in the road, it becomes my problem. But if it's ready to fall in the road, it's his problem to deem whether it's dead or dangerous or needs to be removed
Gotcha.
immediately or whatever. And then he meets with residents evenings and weekends. I've known him to do that. Actually, a lot of calls we used to field, they all came into the highway department, we field a lot of calls about he need to go out and look at a tree. Some resident, whether they be young or elderly, were concerned about a tree hanging over their house. Is it gonna hit my house? He'd go out and he would look at those trees. So for the $5,000, it was really a lot of work involved. He has to line up the contractor, he monitors the contractor, he talks with the police department about details, because they're all town trees, they're gonna have, a lot of, most of them are detail work.
Yeah.
So there's a lot involved with the tree warden. $5,000 wasn't a lot of money to pay him for what he did,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I worked with him all the time, and so we worked well together, and I know what he did.
Yes.
Just to clarify Kirk's question then, so this $5,000 is to pay the tree warden, it's not to take trees down, correct?
It's not, it's to be the tree warden.
So it's for the tree warden, it's his stipend,
That's right, that was his
Okay.
stipend,
right?
and then.
That's what you were
And then he
asking,
was
right?
paid an hourly rate if he came out and did it, but during the budget crunches, I can recall Pete not putting in time. There were
He
times
gets
that he put in
paid
time,
$5,000
there were times, he got the stipend for being a tree warden, and then he got compensated $8 amount. He didn't work under my jurisdiction, so I don't know exactly what all the numbers were.
Gotcha. But we would be funding him it would be funded at $5,000.
Stipend,
Right, but I mean, there's no money, we are not budgeting any additional money for any other
Tree removal.
tree or anything like that, it's just,
Well, I saw it in there for $5,000.
Right.
Right.
I'm not really clear whether that included an expense account and, whether that was just for the tree warden's annual salary. I don't believe there was anything funded for
No.
tree expense.
No, there wasn't.
then the last time we had a tree warden, was it 5,000?
That's,
Or was it too long ago?
no, that was basically
So we
what
pay
we, what we,
$5,000 to have the title, plus we pay him to go out when the time comes to go
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah. So how it was broken down, in 2014, his salary was $693, and then tree warden expenses was $3,800,
Yeah.
which gave us a total then of about $4,500. So that was, but the tree warden, it says restore tree warden position, this doesn't say 5,000 for salary, it just says to fund what's necessary for the position, which again, last time we had one was 4493. And the year before that was 7,000 in fiscal 14. Oh, that was the actual, I'm sorry, the actual. So it looks, based on here, it looks like he doesn't get a stipend, he must not have it 693, he just charges hourly plus expenses. Because we budgeted 7,000, the last time we had fiscal 14, last time we did tree warden, we budgeted 7,000. The actual was 4493, so about $4,500 was what we actually spent on the tree warden. So it seems like 5,000 would be sufficient for whatever it is that he,
Right.
especially
so.
if we're using the same person.
and the other thing about a tree warden is his job is partly to protect good trees, because there's always demands from certain residents, take this tree down, it's a town tree, I don't like it, I think it's dead, and oftentimes the tree warden is the one that says, no, it's not dead, and we're not taking it down.
Right, or it's a shade tree, I
Yeah,
think they make
sure,
that classification
shade
of, yeah.
Let me give you an example, right over here on South Main Street in Coney Ave. There was a large tree there, a very old tree in town, probably 125, 150 years old. It cost the town $2,500 to take that tree down, because a crane was needed to take that tree down. So you had to hire a crane. So that's just $2,500, that's nearly half that budget just on one large tree. There's still several large trees within the town, so they're not all ready to fall, but I'm just saying that, just to give you some kind of perspective of what it costs to take down a large diameter tree. Very expensive.
I make a motion that we restore the tree warden position.
To 5,000?
Yes, 5,000, sorry.
Second.
First and a second, any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, so next, cemetery, we have historical commission, which was a $150 request.
I make a motion that we give the $150 expenses to the historical commission.
Is there a second?
John seconded it.
Okay, John seconded it. So we have a first, a second, any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes. How do we feel about the cemetery department 1583 to restore the expense line?
What is that for?
That's what I said. I think that just puts it back at where it was before it was cut. It must have been a percentage cut when we cut it, cut 5%, so we cut 5%. So this,
Okay.
I'm assuming, right, correct, this restores it to what it was. That's why it's an odd number.
I think,
Yes, sir.
The reason it was cut was that he was going out every year and changing his tractors every year. And that was for him to end up getting new tractors every year. And it came out to $14,000. Now, if you're gonna restore it, he's gonna end up buying new tractors every year.
No, this is only $1,500.
I thought you said 15,000.
No,
1500.
1583.
1,500.
Yep, 1583, sorry, yep.
No, we don't.
I
Yeah,
thought I heard 15,000.
oh, no, sorry. Yeah, no, 1583. So we had a first and a second on this yet, or no? Do we have them first or second? Well, preferably a first.
I would rather make a motion to restore the administrative assistant to the Conservation
sure.
Commission for $3,213.
I'll
Sorry.
second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second to restore the health agent, no, the
Conservation Commission.
Restore administrative
Administrative
assistant, it was one line up, for $3213. Any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, what's left?
That's all. It leaves us with, I have 11,644 and.
11,634.
44. That's what I,
44.
unless somebody
So what
else
did
has
you end
something
up with?
different.
I might be cleared.
Sorry,
I have
11,644.
Which leaves the rec department and then.
The cemetery.
If we do in the cemetery, but
So those are the two items that we have
I
left.
don't really know what those
So
are
you have
for.
enough money to do the cemetery.
Yeah, and that still leaves you 10,061.
That leaves what?
10,061.
If we do the cemetery, then all that's left. That leaves us more than 10 grand for the rec.
Well, I have some thoughts on that too, but, so what do you think about the cemetery stuff? I wish I knew what that was really for, but. Bob, you don't remember what that was for? Sorry,
No, it
that
just,
really-
it restores the, right?
But, yeah, but what if they don't really need it?
I'm sure they need it.
Yes.
Alan, he probably needs more than that, we put in less.
So just,
Alan's opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just also want to point out that we've also obviously foregone.
I would never say that he
the-
doesn't really need it, I'm just saying, like, when you look at some of the rest of, say again?
That so we did not add back in, obviously, the 25,000 for snow, or not add back in, but the snow and ice, increase the snow and ice budget. We obviously did not do that since we're down to 11,644. But, so those are the two items, cemetery and rec commission.
Okay, so I make a motion to, do $1,583 for cemetery department expenses.
Do we have a second?
Second?
First and a second, any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So last but not least, that leaves us 10,061 that's still left, and the item that we still have left is the rec department. I mean, assuming that we want to Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say one thing, that of course, I believe in the rec department, I already said that, but every year, John Brooks stands up on town floor and asks for more money for scholarships, every single year. So I would really like to give him a little bit more.
How much do
He asks every year for another $2,500, because I know we cut that budget at some point, and I really don't remember when. We've talked about trying to do more fundraising, and it just has never really worked out, so I don't know what's in there. I think it's only, well, I don't know, even if we did like, I make a motion to give the scholarship committee another $1,500. That'll be my motion.
1,500 for the scholarship commission.
Yeah, and then I won't even talk about the rec committee right now, but.
Is there a second?
I'd like to hear what Kate has to say.
Yep, Kate.
Is that above and beyond the 2,500? With fiscal system?
Is that in the budget, the 2,500?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been 2,500, but before it used to be more than that, way back when.
How does it get divvied up? Is it 500?
People have to apply for it,
No, I mean,
and
like the
they,
amounts, or does it all go to one person?
no, it doesn't all go to one person. The kids apply for it, and then when they have to actually finish a semester, and then they get the money. And if they don't finish, then they don't get it. That's my understanding.
I think it was $250 and $500 increments for.
I don't know, I've never, but yeah, I don't think they're big amounts, but it's enough that kids are needing that, so, that's all. I got first, but you got
I will
second.
second that motion.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we have a first, yes, no. We have a first and a second to increase by $1,500 the amount of the scholarship line, so it'll now be 4,000. Julie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So now we are at 1061, 8561. Wouldn't it be funny if Luann was just making these numbers up and just yelling them out as we were going along, like, 7,000. Okay,
Close enough.
so,
So do you wanna
right,
put the rest to the rec department?
well, if that's a motion.
That's the rest that's left, and there's nothing else left. We didn't miss anything, right?
So it's 8561.
That at least does, I make a motion to do $8,561 to the rec department.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have first and a second. Is there any discussion? Is there any, it's already asked this, is there anyone from the rec? No, right? But, any other,
Have fun with that.
Julie? John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I will vote yes.
All right.
Yay.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled with anything.
Now we can move on to the annual town meeting warrant.
Okay.
Did I just hear a oh?
We already read through it,
Like, really?
so this shouldn't be bad.
Now, we've been through this before.
Right.
I just wanted to ask one question.
Sure.
about this. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you today. Remember I asked about the sick time bylaw to be,
Yes.
doesn't that need to be, is that on here and I missed it? We need to remove that.
It's not on. Sick time bylaw is not on, because I didn't get a copy.
Okay, no, it's my fault then, sorry. See,
Okay.
I'm like way out there, so,
I
sorry.
gave it to you, right?
No, you gave me the personnel bylaw, but
Oh,
I,
personnel.
so, all right, then I'll have to do it for next year.
All right. No,
Or- no,
you can do
special.
it as special.
Oh, okay, so
In the
just,
fall.
okay. Darn it.
So not a special in this, the special in the fall.
Something else.
No, there's no special, see?
Okay.
Yep.
Are we all
That was the
set?
only
Yep,
difference.
sorry.
Okay, boilerplate articles, Article 1, reports of town officers, Article 2, Article 3, I told you we're shaping up the financial transfers, should have those out this week. Debt exclusion for the highway department excavator, that's in the capital plan. And the election, Worcester County retirement system, these are just boilerplate, Chapter 90 acceptance, payments of long-term debt, operating budgets for the town, funding the ambulance department operations. This number, I didn't put it, it doesn't have any numbers here, but this, the number of 180,000 will go up.
Can we have Doug read that article?
Oh,
Doug, yeah, stop.
oh, I was about to, can I have Doug read it?
Yeah, that's on town floor. I love the way he says ambulance.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to tell you that I combined two articles here into one.
Somebody's tired.
I'll make sure that we do, that we set that up. But we had two ambulance articles. One would appropriate money from the receipts reserved for appropriation fund. And it would say that anything unexpended goes back to the fund. And then there was a separate article that said that any unexpended funds in that account would be moved forward into the next fiscal year. So those two objectives are combined in this article. I think we need another article to do that. Yes?
Didn't we accomplish that last year?
No, there were two articles last year. Funding for the assessor's triennial. I'd like to put that in the budget too, but then there is an issue that if you want to put this into a separate account that does not close out at the end of the year, then it has to be done through a warrant article, so we had to keep that one. And then the assessments for the schools for Monty Tech. Sewer department budget, Narragansett assessment, revolving funds, any transfers to the stabilization fund. I think we will have a substantial transfer to the stabilization fund after we get free cash certified. And we ought to be able to augment the stabilization fund by maybe a couple $100,000 or more. Community preservation funding for the Civil War monument. I don't have a final number yet on that, but you recall the amount that was voted was not enough, and they went out to bid, and all the bids came in higher, so it's been postponed. Then the Community Preservation Committee funding. This is a boilerplate article. Funding for the town clerk vault. There again, to be a CPC funding if we ultimately need more money there
It's not just me having
to cover the shortfall. But as you know, the bids came in higher than what the CPC committee voted originally. Cook Pond Estates Pump Station. This is requested by the Board of Sewer Commissioners. The Agricultural Commission, they'd like to expand their membership from 3 to 5. Zoning amendment for various parcels in Article 21, Article 22, and Article 23, the discontinuation of Freight Shed Road, Hill Road, Elliott Road, Norcross Hill Road, and Fernal Road, requested by the Planning Board. The Veterans Bylaw, I will be working with our Veterans agent on Wednesday to reduce the size of this bylaw. I think he understands that we really have to trim it down, so. Insurance Advisory Committee, this was submitted by the advisory board. It would require the appointment by the Board of Selectmen of an Insurance Advisory Committee. Trench bylaw, this would be a bylaw to regulate cutting pavements and excavations in the public way. Also, pretty extensive. And then at the end, we have citizens petitions, one on the Cook Pond Pump Station, sponsored by the residents there. One having to do with a fluoride warning, another one having to do with fluoride, proposed fluoride legislation. And lastly, a citizens petition, a request to the Attorney General to review a number of items, I guess, that had been sent to the Attorney General earlier. Wait a minute. The lease. Okay. We apparently need another warrant article to authorize lease payments for the ambulance and defibrillators. So I'll add that if the board is agreeable.
And that would be Article 26, correct? Or, because it would be right before the citizens petition.
Yes,
So,
Lease payments?
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Altogether, there's
32.
30, now there's 31, right? Yeah, that's with citizens petitions, plus that, yeah.
Well, we may be able to cut down a few more. I think, I'm going to just make sure that I see no reason to have separate school articles since they're in the budget. So we can eliminate
Take
those two
off too.
as well. We are going to have a separate article for Worcester County retirement because the town accepts reimbursements from the utilities. And in order to be able to do that, and Kelly and I were on the phone with council today, he said you can't eliminate it because you're accepting as a trustee and you got to authorize that by a warrant article. Likewise with debt payment, we pay debt for utilities. And so we will receive funds from them and we act as their trustee. And town council says we are required to authorize that by warrant article. So as much as I like to get rid of them, we can't. So I do believe that we don't need a special meeting,
Oh, good.
a special within the annual, because we have the transfers on the annual, and that's perfectly legit and legal.
Can we, so I'm assuming that we're voting on these, can we do these in chunks? Is that okay? Does anyone have a problem with that? I'm voting them, just because I want to recuse myself from Article 19.
Okay.
So if we,
You want to do 1 to 18?
right, and then I'll leave, yes.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
I know you said for my assessors, they're doing a reval account. Did you put in my statutory exemptions, the 1.63%? Because I did give Colin the updated amount.
Triennial.
I thought I did.
I just didn't hear you say it, so I just wanted to make sure.
I don't see that.
Let's do it. Well, it's a good index.
What did I do with the,
Okay, so
my
we're
copy?
gonna vote even though he's gonna add some.
What did I do with my
into some.
copy?
Right, because we'll vote once we have the,
What happened to my,
post it soon.
Is this your copy?
no.
So we vote on it, but he can still change it.
No, we have to vote, we
Weird.
vote to authorize him to add a
No.
warrant. We'll do that now, too.
My warrant has disappeared.
Here's mine.
Okay. I know the article that you mean. It may have been overlooked in the process, and we'll make sure it goes in.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's a boilerplate every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you mention the half a firefighter EMT?
The what?
The half a firefighter EMT, I don't know if you heard that.
I did. I said I would, we have the article in generalized language. The motion will increase the amount to cover that.
But do we need a separate article for the other half of that?
Oh,
No.
I see what you're
Okay.
saying.
They voted that from the general fund.
Gotcha.
Do I have a motion regarding 1 to 18, or if somebody has any issues with anything before 19?
I will make a motion to approve the warrant articles 1 through 18.
Do I have a second?
Second, I
First.
find it.
I have first and a second. Give you a second. Is there any discussion regarding 1 through 18? If not, Julie,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Now I will accuse myself from Article 19.
I think I took it.
No, here it is.
I tried to stay in the
I
spot.
put it under the pile.
Article 19, to see if the town will vote to accept the private sewer pump station and sewer force main which serves Cook Pond Estates after proper operational condition has been determined to the sewer department's satisfaction, as shown in the definitive division plan approved by the planning board, January 21st, 2003, as public property. I know we had a discussion about this at an earlier meeting. Bob, what do you,
Well, we are required to have the citizens petition, and I think the sewer department would argue that theirs should remain because they've established some conditions, whereas the citizen petition doesn't have any conditions. If you look at the text of Article 19,
Operational condition has been determined.
my understanding is that they're going to argue that theirs protects the town more than the citizen petition. This one that they've submitted, after proper operational condition has been determined
Right.
by the sewer department. So it's not that they're just going to accept as is. They want to make sure that the thing is operating properly before they accept it. So there's a slight difference there that sewer department thinks is important.
well,
So,
if town meeting votes Article 19,
yeah,
then
then
the other one is essentially
Right.
moved, so.
yeah.
I make a motion to approve Article 19.
We have a second?
Second.
So Diane made a motion to accept Article 19, correct?
Yes, I did.
Doug seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Julie?
No.
Doug?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes,
And I'll vote yes.
and Ken can come back.
That's 3-1. You can come back now.
How many articles do we have?
Next, we have Articles 20 through 20.
9, 30.
30. The last ones are citizens petitions, so they have to be added. So we don't, we don't need to vote on those because we don't have a choice.
The 20
So-
26.
Through 26, 20 through 26. Do I have a motion regarding those in that chunk, or if you'd like to break it down further?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
First and a second, any further discussion? Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I will vote yes.
And the board has agreed to the addition of the article from the assessors and the addition of the lease payment article for the ambulance.
And the,
Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Do I-
wait, and what did you say about Worcester County retirement, is that?
No, that stays. It has to stay,
Okay.
yes.
Do I have a first regarding those two additional? Yes.
First.
Yep, do I have a second regarding
Second.
those two additional? Second, okay. Any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane? And I will vote yes. The last item we have on the agenda is the approval of the holiday schedule.
Excuse me.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So we have a schedule that makes the following days close paid holidays. The ones that, like July 6th, it's on a Monday, it's because the July 4th is on a Saturday, obviously, so that's why. And per our personnel policies, employees get a day off for these certain holidays. So we have July, and these are all, oh, never mind, they're not. July 6th, 2015, September 7th, 2015, October 12th, 2015, November 11th, 2015, November 26th, 2015, November 27th, 2015, December 24th, 2015, December 28th, 2015, December 31st, 2015, January 4th, 2016, January 18th, 2016, February 15th, 2016, April 18th, 2016, and May 30th, 2016. These are the paid holidays for fiscal year 2016.
It should be 6.
2016, yeah.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
I'll abstain.
Okay. John?
Yes,
Diane?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Okay. The last item we have on our agenda are selectmen's comments. Julie, did you have anything that you wanted
I'm
to?
all set.
You're all set. Doug, anything you want to share with us?
Just real quickly, again, I'd like to thank all the volunteers that have come over and helped paint at the senior center. We're also going to have an open house at the senior center, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I think it's the 18th. So, I think from like 10 to 2, something like that, no? 1 to 3.
You were close.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, so, please come and, see the progress that we've made, starting to really take shape.
John, did you have anything?
no, I'll pass.
Diane?
I'll pass.
And I will pass as well. Yes, sir.
I have Doug say ambulance. Emergency medical vehicle.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I will vote yes.
Thank you.
We're
I
gonna
told
do
you
that
you had to be
down.
done at 7.